So, is artificial intelligence actually making us smarter? Or, let's be honest, just a little bit lazier? It's really the central paradox of our time. I mean, we've built these incredible machines capable of processing the sum total of human knowledge in literally seconds. But as we hand over more and more of our everyday thinking to these algorithms, what's actually happening to our own cognitive muscles? Are we evolving into superthinkers, or are we, kind of just slowly turning our brains off?
Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're jumping right into a really fascinating 2025 research monograph by independent researcher Renaud Gesnot, titled The Impact of Artificial Intelligence on Human Thought. We are going to unpack the science and the sociology behind how AI is quite literally rewiring our thoughts, altering our creativity, and even fundamentally reshaping our perceived reality.
Here's a quick roadmap of where we're headed. 1. The age of AI. 2. Augmentation versus cognitive decline. 3. The standardization of thought. 4. Mechanisms of AI manipulation. And 5. Reclaiming cognitive autonomy. Let's get right into it.
Section 1. The age of AI. In just a few short years, AI has gone from this highly specialized computer science tool to an omnipresent cognitive partner in our daily lives.
100 million. Think about that for a second. At the end of 2022, ChatGPT reached over 100 million active users in just 2 months. It literally became the fastest-growing application in human history. And that just perfectly illustrates the unprecedented scale and speed of our reliance on these systems. AI is no longer just a calculator, right? It's a conversationalist, it's an idea generator, and it's an everyday companion for millions of people.
Moving to Section 2. Augmentation versus cognitive decline. We really need to explore how AI is acting as both this incredible amplifier of our abilities and potentially a major crutch for our brains.
To understand how this works, we first need to talk about cognitive offloading. This is a psychological mechanism where we delegate a cognitive task to something external to reduce our own mental load. Think about it. Before smartphones, you probably had dozens of phone numbers memorized, right? Now, I bet most of us would struggle to list even 5 without checking our contacts app. Well, AI takes this exact concept to a whole new level, handling complex analysis, writing, and deep problem solving entirely for us.
We are essentially treating the internet and these AI systems like a giant external hard drive for our own minds. This is known as transactive memory. Instead of actually retaining the information ourselves, we just remember where or how to ask the AI to go find it for us. And sure, absolutely, it frees up our working memory, but it fundamentally changes the way we store and interact with knowledge.
So this creates a massive tension. On the pro side, AI gives us superhuman efficiency. It accelerates personalized learning, and it acts as this brilliant brainstorming partner that can seriously augment our creativity. But the hidden costs are severe. We're talking about digital amnesia, the atrophy of really fundamental skills, and a potential loss of our cognitive autonomy. Because if we don't exercise our own reasoning, we run the very real risk of falling into cognitive complacency.
It is quite literally a cognitive balancing act, and the research completely backs up these risks. Gesnot's paper highlights a fascinating 2025 study involving 666 participants. They found a really strong negative correlation between frequent AI use and declining critical thinking scores. Basically, the more tasks these individuals offloaded to the AI, the less they practiced their own critical thinking, which led to measurable declines in their ability to autonomously evaluate information. It's the ultimate rule of human biology, right? Use it or lose it.
Section 3. The standardization of thought. Now, what actually happens when billions of people start offloading their thinking to the exact same AI models? Well, we face a massive risk of cognitive standardization. If we are all using the exact same AI tools, which are trained on the exact same dominant data sets, to generate our ideas, write our emails, and create our art, we risk turning human creativity into a factory line. You have to remember, AI produces the statistical average. It gives us what's standard. And by doing so, it risks homogenizing our collective output into a single, predictable mold.
And we're actually already seeing this happen in the real world. A 2024 study highlighted in the research looked at Indian authors using a text suggestion system based on a Western language model. The result? Their writing style naturally conformed to Western norms. The AI subtly but very effectively erased the cultural nuances that were specific to their own environment.
Educational researchers are deeply concerned about this trend. They warned that reducing writing to a conformist final product risks destroying the richness and complexity of the languages students bring with them.
Language dictates how we experience the world around us. So, if we standardize our language through AI, we essentially standardize the human experience itself.
And it goes way beyond just culture and language. It actually affects the fundamental way we reason. Human intellectual progress has historically relied on rigorous deductive logic, moving from general principles down to specific conclusions. But modern AI? It's almost entirely inductive. It relies on massive statistical correlations. If we continually rely on AI, we risk creating this cognitive monoculture where we abandon formal logic in favor of whatever probabilistic guess the machine spits out.
Section 4. Mechanisms of AI manipulation. Now we need to look at something a bit more alarming: how our clicks, our choices, and even our emotions are being systematically orchestrated without our explicit consent.
In many ways, AI operates as an invisible puppeteer. Because we spend so much of our lives online, these AI systems have built incredibly accurate psychological profiles of us. They know our vulnerabilities, they know our triggers, and they know our biases. And they use all that data to lock us into polarizing filter bubbles, subtly altering our perceived reality just to maximize our engagement and, ultimately, their profit.
These systems are explicitly designed to hack our minds. Humans have natural biases, right? Like confirmation bias. We absolutely love information that proves us right. Well, AI exploits that by putting us in filter bubbles, showing us only what we already agree with. Then there's authority bias. We naturally trust experts. AI exploits this through automation bias, where we just blindly trust a machine's output because it sounds confident. And we look for social proof, following the crowd. AI exploits that using bot networks to simulate fake consensus. Researchers call these hypernudges, automated, hyper-personalized manipulations that are operating on a massive scale.
To prove just how powerful this influence is, the research points back to a massive Facebook experiment from 2012. Without explicit consent, Facebook actually altered the news feeds of nearly 700,000 users. Some were shown more positive posts, others more negative. The result was literal emotional contagion. Users' own moods and the things they posted changed to match exactly what the algorithm was feeding them. AI can literally alter our collective mood. You add in the micro-targeting we saw with Cambridge Analytica and algorithmic radicalization on video platforms, and the sheer power of this influence is truly unprecedented.
Now factor in generative AI, and you get the complete automation of deception. Think about the timeline here. A deepfake can be generated in 0 minutes. Within 5 minutes, a bot network exploits social proof to amplify it. In 30 minutes, it's totally viral. And it takes humans and authorities maybe 24 hours to issue a correction, which is way after the damage is already done. In 2022, we saw a deepfake of Ukrainian President Zelensky falsely calling for surrender. In 2023, a mother in Arizona was targeted by a virtual kidnapping scam using an AI clone of her daughter's crying voice. AI is spreading disinformation so much faster than human critical thinking can even react.
Section 5. Reclaiming cognitive autonomy. So, how do we actually fix this? How do we ensure a conscious, deliberate co-evolution with our digital tools, rather than just becoming a passive passenger to them?
Gznutz's research outlines some really practical, actionable pathways. Step 1 is strengthening our education. We urgently need to teach critical intelligence, not just how to type prompts into an AI, but how to verify it, how to doubt it, and how to understand its blind spots. Step 2 is encouraging diversity in AI models. We need local, culturally diverse AIs so we don't fall into that global cognitive monoculture we talked about. And step 3 is designing pro-cognitive interfaces. Instead of an AI that just hands you the final answer on a silver platter, imagine an AI that asks you questions, forcing you to engage your own deductive logic. We need AI to be a co-pilot that prompts us to think, not an autopilot that just thinks for us.
Ultimately, it all comes back to that fundamental rule of human cognition we discussed earlier: use it or lose it. If we want to preserve our active critical intelligence, our unique creativity, and our diverse cultural perspectives, we have to actively exercise those mental muscles, even when the machine is sitting right there, offering us the easy way out.
I'm going to leave you with this final, somewhat provocative thought to reflect on. As these systems grow exponentially more capable, and if AI truly does become the ultimate thinker, what will actually be the purpose of the human mind? Take a second to think about your own relationship with technology today. Are you the pilot or are you the passenger? Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer. Keep thinking, keep questioning, and I'll catch you next time.